Okay, but why is the internet on fire right now? It still kind of feels like June. I'm gonna be honest with you
Have
guys.
you guys heard the new Olivia Rodrigo song? Oh my god.
Hi, hello, welcome back to my witch obsession. And in today's pick a Pokemon card reading, we will be asking the question: why won't they admit their feelings to you? Now, somebody commented this reading topic. Their name started with an A, but I promise whenever you guys recommend like reading topics, I do write them down in my notes, but like I don't know, like I just like do them when they feel correct, and this one felt correct in this moment. So yeah. But I really like this idea, and I kind of like that it's a different take and it can be kind of taken more platonically, because I feel like a lot of the times these kind of readings can like are almost exclusively romantic, but I kind of wanted it to be platonic as well, or for anything other than like romantic partners to come through. But yeah, so we'll just be kind of looking at like if someone that you suspect in your life has a sort of feeling for you, or like a friend or like a family member or something, like it's just like why aren't they telling you how they truly feel about you. Probably won't look at why like how they actually feel towards you, but if you guys would like to see more videos like that, then but like every time I post those, like people are like, oh, like like we want different readings. I'm like, okay. But we have four piles here today. We have pile one with Mime Jr. We have pile two with Oddish. We have pile three with Cubone. And then we have pile four with Ghastly. So yeah, those are the Pokemans I have for today. So if you've already chosen your pile, see out your reading. Timestamps are in the description box below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the way down there. And if you like a personal reading, I do offer those in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below in the description box as well. So yeah, with that out of the way, see out your reading. But if you'd like to sit and listen to me ramble for an extra minute or two or three, then hi. Or hi, oh my gosh. You guys, I can't speak right now. But I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but that new Olivia Rodrigo song literally has me in a chokehold right now. I try so hard to resist her music, but I literally cannot. I can't. I can't resist it. It's too amazing. But I feel like I don't know, like today or as of late, just like this first little chunk of July, it almost feels like this is the process of saying hello to new things. Do you know what I mean? Or it feels like I don't know how to describe it. It's like I'm saying hi to something new, but there's something from the past trying to get my attention. Because there's been a lot of themes that have come up from my past that I feel like I did a pretty good job of smoothing over, but I feel like they're coming up again. Um, Mostly with my parents, but I don't know how to describe it. Also, if you hear my stomach, they literally didn't substitute oat milk in my freaking Starbucks drink. So embarrassing. But anyways, that's besides the point. But I'm feeling kind of strange right now because like I said, like it feels as if though I'm finally moving on to new things, and it feels like I'm finally accepting the way things have changed and how there are certain things that are no longer a part of my life, but it feels like those things are, trying to come up again. And that's probably because we have this Venus retrograde coming up, and it really hits me because I have a natal Venus retrograde, and I'm also a Venus moon, like I'm a Taurus moon. But I feel like it's not bad though. I don't feel like I'm trying to get away from these things and they're like popping up. But I feel as if though more so they're coming up in a way, and I'm willing to compromise with my past in a way that's like I want to integrate the lessons from my past and make it present in my future. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? But I just like I feel like these past few days lately have been very emotional by nature and almost nostalgic. And I don't really know how to describe it other than I just feel like we are off course, or I am off course right now. Not in a bad way, but more so I feel like I'm taking a detour in the way things have been scripted. But it's kind of weird because it feels like this detour is intentional, so it can really be a detour in that sense. But, I feel like, I watched this reading last night by Briar Rose Tarot. Oh my gosh, I love her. It's literally my dream to do a collab with her, you guys. Like, she's my favorite. But she was talking, I fell asleep halfway through the reading, but in the beginning of it, she was like talking about how like there's blessings coming through, and how like you shouldn't be so frivolous with your finances and things of that nature, and it won't kill you to buy the things that you really want, or to get things that you like, or to, bring these up. And I think that's interesting because I was also just reading up on some of my astrology stuff, and I'm a Cancer 8th house because I'm a Sag rising, and fellow Sag risings, like, please come through. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But I was reading up on it, and basically, like, if you have like a Cancer 8th house, then like you become a little bit more like, you have a strong aversion for talking about like money and like other things related to the 8th house, if you guys know what I mean. Wink wink, nudge nudge. But I think that's interesting because last night I was also talking to my friends. I was like, my bestie, I was like, oh, I've been hankering for a new tarot deck. And she was like, I feel like that's interesting because I haven't heard you wanting a new tarot deck in a while now. And honestly, it's because like there was like this period of time where like no one was coming out with new tarot decks, and it was like a drought, y'all. And I was like, dang, dude, like there's none of these decks that I want. But now there's like more out right now. And I feel like I've been so focused on jewelry that I haven't really been focused on tarot decks. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, once again, in the last video, I mentioned that, like, I feel like this transition in the material world has been a big deal to me because I am very attached to the material world. Excuse me. And so, like, as a result, I feel like this new era is just kind of like me exploring the physical world again, but like with this new perspective, without this attachment to my past and my previous taste. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've changed as a person in terms of my taste, in terms of what I prefer. And that's a big deal to me because I'm like really attached to the things I like and to what catches my eye. And so like when that thing changes, like it's like it really changes my entire perspective on the world and myself, And I've been dressing differently. I've been, integrating new things. And so like I feel like in this sense, it's that sense that's what I'm saying hello to. I'm saying hello to these new things and these new tastes and these new preferences. But like I feel like I'm still bringing along my old tastes and things like that. So I feel like that can be kind of applied as a metaphor to my emotional sense too, where I feel like I'm saying hi to these new things, but at the same time bringing these old things with me, And I don't know. I just feel like as somebody who can be very materialistic, borderline hedonistic, honestly, and I feel like it's very important for me to say that because I just like don't like to beat around the bush about it and act like I'm not when I literally am. But yeah, I don't know. I think the summary today is, I feel like the past is finally being, I feel like I'm finally making room for this grief of my past and what has happened. And because of that, I understand my emotional capacity right now, and I'm making room for these new things that are coming in and welcoming the possibility of changes, and that things are working out the way that it was originally intended to before all of this kind of went down, And I just feel very liberated by it because I feel like I'm finally standing by the things that I care about. I don't know. I was really excited to ramble to you guys because I thought I knew what I was going to say, but honestly, like, I just feel like it's so hard to put into words, and it's one of those things where it's not, like, I feel like I'm still feeling this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm still in the midst of feeling it out, but I do know for a fact that I feel like I'm in this very transitional emotional state of being that kind of solicits me to freestyle and float by, but at the same time using what I have learned to kind of navigate it, you know? It's just a transition. That's all I have. That's all I have. I will see you at your reading. I love you. I love you. Thank you. See you there at your reading. LOL. I don't know. Hello, pile 1. If you chose Mime Jr., this is going to be your reading for why won't they admit their feelings for you. So before we get into the tarot, I'm going to pull some oracle cards here to see who this person is. I will say it's going to be a little bit general, I feel, because I just feel like when you pull up to readings like this, like, you know exactly who you're like thinking about, and so like I don't know. I just trust you guys, you know. I just trust you guys. But yeah, who is it that pile 1 is inquiring about? Inquiring. Is it inquiring or inquiring? Inquiring sounds better. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna say. Who is pile 1 inquiring about? Okay. We have gift. I don't know why, but that gives me like 5th house vibes, just because like gift giving. This person could be a Leo, or they could be somebody who just like really likes giving gifts. But they could also be somebody who is pretty sensitive and a little bit emotional. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull some keywords too. Who is pile 1's person? Oh geez, that just flew across. Okay. We have peppermint with conscience, realization, and awakening. Please. And then one more. Okay. Let's see what the vibes are. Who is pile 1's person? Okay, 2 cards just flew out. We have Black Widow, and we have no. What do you mean no? Anyways, so I think it's interesting that we have... Okay, there's a few different things here that I'm getting. So first of all, with the Black Widow card, we do have the number 3 and Aquarius. So they could be a Sagittarius rising, or they could have just like Aquarius in the 3rd house. But I'm picking up a lot of heart chakra energy here, because on the gift card, the heart is like, it's hearting. I don't know. It's like there. And then for the peppermint card, the color green makes me think of the heart chakra. But I just feel like whoever this is, the oracle cards will kind of explain why they won't admit their feelings to you either. But as a whole here, I'm just feeling like this person is a very sensitive person. And this is somebody who really does things from the heart. So I just feel like that maybe is the reason why they're kind of like not admitting their feelings towards you. Because I just feel like they're very afraid of like rejection and stuff like that. With this Black Widow card, I also pick up Cancer vibes here, honestly. Also, the placements that I've said could be referring to you. But I just feel like this person with this no card, I wouldn't be surprised if for some of you they won't admit their feelings for a really long time, or not at all, honestly. Unless either A, like, I don't know, like, it just seems as if though there's something that needs to occur before they can feel like they can admit their feelings or tell you how they feel. And with this Black Widow card, I almost wonder if they are kind of being very manipulative about it. I almost wonder if they try to set up scenarios that kind of trap you into admitting your feelings first. You know, that's what I think of when I think of Black Widows, you know, like building the web, like waiting, like it's giving like I don't chase, I attract vibes. But you know, I just feel like this person is very intelligent emotionally, so much for their own good. Like they're too emotional for their own good. And I feel like this is somebody who is a little bit closed off and a little bit clammed up, honestly. And I also feel like they're somebody who, they may be going through something right now, and that may also be kind of playing into as to why they aren't really admitting their feelings. Because I just feel like they're going through a transition in their life right now. But with the gift card, I do think that this is a very special person. And somebody with a lot of like spiritual gifts. They could just be very intuitive, and I almost wonder if they send you a lot of like messages, maybe through like your dreams and stuff like that, because I just feel like this person is a very good manifester, whether they realize it or not. And I feel like I almost wonder if this is the kind of person that is very afraid of things not working out, but they always end up working out anyways. So it's kind of like they're always ruled by their feelings of like doubt and like anxiety and things of that nature. I almost wonder if this is that person that was like in school and they were like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing so bad or I'm gonna fail the test or something like that, but they literally got like a 98% on the pop quiz and like everyone else got like a 60 and below, you know? Like I just feel like this person needs a lot of validation, or I feel like this person may low-key fish for compliments or to kind of manipulate a situation into making them feel more safe, you know? Like I just feel like they can be kind of an emotional control freak. And I feel like that's kind of why they're not admitting their feelings for you, to be honest, because they're just kind of like, they're so caught up in their head about things, and I feel like they're really stuck in a lot of doubt right now, and I just feel as if though it's going to take them a while before they can actually admit their feelings for you. And I do feel as if though, like, you're kind of frustrated watching this reading. You're probably like, girl, you ain't even know the half of it. And I totally feel it. But with the peppermint, I also feel like this person could, I don't know why, but I'm just like, I feel like this person could chew a lot of gum, or they want to like smooch you, but I also just feel like something about like bad breath is significant here. I just feel like this person is a very hygienic person, or somebody who is very peculiar about the way that they dress, the way that they smell, you know? Or they could be very criticizing of others that don't meet their standards within those departments. I don't know. I feel like this person could be a huge hypocrite at times, or somebody who just like doesn't get like, it's just incredulous the way they say things, that they could like, there's times where I feel like they could take their own advice, if you know what I mean. For example, within the scenario that's been painted here, I feel like they're like, I wish they would just be more honest with me, or I wish people would just be more emotionally open and stuff like that, but it's like they literally won't tell you that they just want to spend time with you, you know? So I feel like this person goes round and round with their logic a lot, and probably come off as hypocritical a lot of times. It's probably really frustrating, honestly, and they may just be a handful because of it. Let's get into the tarot here. Yeah. I feel like this reading isn't going to be that long, just because I feel like, you know, we're looking at this. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm using the Beauty Tarot today because of the keywords. I really love the keywords. I felt like it would help provide a lot of context, and I feel like the words can kind of help you guys discern for yourselves too, because obviously like it's important to kind of keep things a little bit open, because you know not everyone's situation is the same. Okay, why won't pile one's person admit their feelings to pile one? Why won't they admit their feelings to pile one? Okay, that was rude. It just like, did you see the mess it caused? Like, girl, why won't they admit their feelings to pile one? Okay. We'll pull some more cards as we go, but obviously, you know, like, we need to fix this first. We'll not tolerate such chaos here. Okay, first card, we have 10 of Cups and Queen of Swords. I feel like the Queen of Swords is such a classic card to pull in a reading like this. Honestly, like, I don't know. I really do feel like you guys know exactly why they're not admitting their feelings for you, or like I feel like you guys have like kind of a sneaking suspicion, and you probably are here for the confirmation. I feel like you guys are very intelligent. Like, I don't know, like I can just feel your judgment towards this person, or I can kind of feel like your vibes is like, oh my gosh, this person's so annoying, you know? But yeah, you could be an air sign yourself, or you could just be somebody who has like strong air placements, or maybe Mercury would be very significant here. But on the bottom of the deck, we also have 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, girl, do you see this? We also have the Lovers card. Yeah, I do think that this could be a romantic connection that some of you could be asking about. But I also feel like it could just be really anybody. But, you know, I feel like with the Lovers card, like, come on now. But I just feel like with the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles being on the bottom of the deck here, it really does seem as if though this connection is very like it's been built on a very steady foundation, or it's been one that has been taking its time. You guys might be friends, or this person just might like you guys probably I know you guys click. I definitely do think that whoever it is you're asking about, you guys really click, and I feel like you guys meet 50-50 on a lot of the things that you guys have discussed. You have I just feel like it's this situation of like you share a lot of the same opinions and whatnot. I really don't think it matters how it's described, like what I'm saying, or like the details of like how you guys click. But what the point is that you guys do in fact click, and I feel like you guys are very fond of each other in some way, shape, or form. And within that context, I almost wonder if this could just be a friend, or if this could just be somebody that you're really close to. I think that it could be romantic by nature, but I'm feeling like now with the way that I have described it, it could be platonic, or it could even be like a family member, specifically a brother or like a sister, like a sibling, because we do have Gemini energy here. So, and within that context, this could be somebody that feels like a sibling, like obviously not like, like in the romantic sense, but like this is somebody that what I'm just trying to say is like you're very comfortable with. And yeah, I just feel like if that doesn't resonate, then this is probably not the pile. Just because I feel like with the themes that have been presented here, this is something that has history, or this is something that has a lot of like potential or longevity, or a desire or a forecast for longevity has definitely been presented here with the Ten of Pentacles being on the bottom of the deck. I just feel like you can't like two tens being here really doesn't suggest somebody that you just met or somebody that you're casual with. I do feel like this is a more serious connection, whatever the context may be, but I do think that this person is very intimidated by you, just because of the fact that I think that you are very much better at managing your emotions, perhaps because either A, this person is way too emotional, not like in a bad way, but like maybe it could be bad sometimes, or at least a hindrance. But I just feel like you guys are a lot better at managing your emotions, and you guys are maybe a little bit more detached. And as a result, I just feel like this person is very intimidated by that. And even if you aren't a very detached person, it's just the fact that you give off that vibe, especially with the astrology placements that I mentioned near the beginning of the reading. I just feel like all of that energy suggests somebody that is a little bit more protective over their emotions and more realistic, or is very good at incorporating logic and allowing that to kind of mix with your emotions, So I just feel like you aren't strictly ruled by your emotions, or more ruled by your emotions like this person is here. And obviously the roles can be reversed here, so it really doesn't matter if your person is the one that's being overly emotional and you're like more detached. It could be the other way around. But I just feel like no matter the role, or no matter how this reading applies, it's just like this person seems as if though like there's something about you that can be a little bit off-putting, or they find you to be a little bit unpredictable, especially since we do have Gemini energy here. I feel like they feel like you're a little bit aloof, or maybe they feel like you wouldn't respond in the ways that they would want you to, which once again I feel like comes from a sense of like emotional insecurity, or just like a lack of stability within the connection, or like they feel like there's a lack of stability in the connection. I don't think it really matters the state of the connection currently, because like I said, this person could be ruled by their emotions. So it seems as if though like if they don't feel it, or if they don't feel correct, then the connection will definitely suffer because of it, or anything around them will suffer, or their decision making will suffer. And I use the word suffer very universally here. It could literally be that they're crippled, or they could just like not want to like talk. Anyways, let's pull some more cards. We also have Seven of Wands. Yeah, I feel like this person, I feel like they also feel like they're under pressure. I don't know, like I almost wonder if, with how I was saying that the connection definitely has been taking a while now, or it feels as if though like some sort of longevity has been expressed, I feel like this person feels like they're on a timer, and I think that that's freezing them up too. I don't think this person does well when they're put on a time limit. They could be somebody who really struggles with like time tests, or they just like don't like when people rush them, or anything of that nature. And I do think that you have been very patient about it, but even if you have expressed patience, they get very nervous once again, because they don't really know how it is that you're feeling, or they don't really know what the vibe is exactly. and because of that, they get very hyper fixated on, setting the tone and kind of describing the vibe, if you know what I mean. Like, they get so obsessed with the details that they forget about the bigger picture, and they start kind of like doing all these little mundane things instead of making the bigger moves, and it seems as if though they get obsessed with those small little victories for those little morsels of validation, as opposed to kind of putting those off and waiting for the bigger prize or waiting for the bigger moment that is more important here. And I feel like the Black Widow card is very potent here, and I almost wonder if they can be kind of like really mean, honestly. I want to say like maybe not towards you, but I feel like this person can be very mean and manipulative if they're feeling a little bit weak or if they're feeling especially emotional, And I almost wonder if for some of you this person has in fact done you dirty. And obviously that's like a very sensitive message. So if that doesn't apply, don't take it. But I'm just saying that for some of you, you could have dealt with somebody, or this could be just somebody that you feel like they have definitely kind of played trickery with you. And I think that regardless of whatever the case is here, I think that with the Queen of Swords here, I'm pretty sure that you guys are intelligent enough to kind of navigate the situation and kind of discern it and understand when this person is being manipulative and stuff here. So I just feel like this person can't really get to you in that sense, or that this person can't really like actually trap you, or at least for an extended period of time here. And that is definitely something that also makes them very anxious, because I feel like they kind of want to like, I feel like this kind of applies to anyone that they are, feeling a specific way about. But, in this case, it's you. I just feel like they like buttering up these people, or they like buttering you up first before they kind of go in for a kill. Before they can kind of like, like tell you how they feel or something like that. It makes me think of a spider, like when they catch a prey, they like wrap it up in silk and stuff, and then they inject their venom. They don't like fight with it or anything. I just feel like this person can be such a control freak about that. And I feel like they can't really do that to you. They can't really just like trap you, or they can't really weave you or kind of like guide you into their web per se. But yeah, I just feel like this person is they're like on the defense right now. I do feel like they'll come around with time here, or I do feel like they'll kind of come around in some sense, because I do feel like you're kind of a lesson for them in the sense that like they can't control everything, and not all the time will there be a situation where their emotions are solicited that will be like not safe, but like not safe objectively, but to them. You do you get what I'm saying right there? Like I just feel like they have to learn that not all the time is the situation going to specifically cater to their needs, especially if they want true connection, and especially if they want to actually get to know people, because not all the time will the situation cater to them. And I feel like this is a huge lesson for them. And I think that you guys know that, and that's probably why you guys have been as patient with them as you have been, like regardless of what timeline or like what spot you are on the timeline. I just feel like even if you're done with this person, it's just a sense of like, it was something for them to learn, and it's something that they have to get through their minds. And I think that you are with me on that. You are with the universe. You're like, girl, yeah, they need to learn. Let's pull one more card here. Ooh, we also have Ace of Cups. I love this Ace of Cups just because of this like purple hue. Isn't that so pretty? But I also feel like this person feels like there's a lot of riches here. I don't know. Ace of Cups really speaks for itself. I think that this person does feel some sort of way about you. And it doesn't have to be romantic, like I said. Apply this in whichever way you deem as fit. But I just feel like this person... has especially been, as of late, a little bit clammed up, because I think that their emotions for you have evolved, or they have gotten stronger, or, if you're at the beginning of the connection... I just feel like this person is a little bit overwhelmed, or they kind of like, they feel defensive about it, because I feel like they need to feel it through first, I feel like it's a little bit overstimulating for them, honestly. And obviously, like, I don't mean the reading to come off like very cliche like that, in the sense like, oh, like they're feeling some type of way about you, and they, like they're trying to like protect their feelings. But I just feel like if you've gotten this far into the reading and everything has resonated so far, I think that you very much understand that this person is they probably have a strong aversion for change, or, like, as we have said, like an aversion for things out of their control. And I just feel like when something takes their emotions by storm. They definitely like, get defensive. They probably, pull out the pincers or stinger, or I just realized that like a lot of the water signs have weapons. I don't know. What does like Aquarius have for weapon? Like it's the water bearer, so like does it have like a jug? I don't know. Apply in whatever way you deem is fit, but I just feel like with the Ace of Cups here, it really does go to show, especially since like it's the last card that we pulled. So I just feel like as the story is being told, the bottom line is that this person, like, it doesn't really matter what their feelings are towards you, but the point is that they do feel some sort of way about you. And I feel like this person is very longevity oriented and they like things to last. And so that's probably another reason why they're a little bit of a control freak, because maybe they have gotten invested into situations that did not last them or simply began to not serve them anymore. But I just feel like this person can have trouble with hanging on to things. And so I think that this person could have just finished healing from something, or they could have been hurt before. And I think that if that is the case here, they probably told you. But yeah, I think that this person is... I honestly don't feel like they're going to admit their feelings for a while. And if they do, it's going to be after they have kind of felt it out. But I think that for right now, I will say, like with this no card, I feel pretty confident and saying that they probably won't disclose how they feel for a grip here. I don't know. Let me sum up your reading so that kind of makes sense. So I feel like this person, like to describe them, they are a very sensitive person. They are somebody, with gifts, and they are somebody who is very unique and a little bit of a control freak. And they are probably somebody who is very tenacious, very patient, and probably has a strong aversion for change, may fish for validation, and may try to create situations to kind of make them feel better, and they may do that at the cost of others' well-being sometimes. But I think that they do this unknowingly, because I do think that this person never intends to hurt people, but maybe sometimes they just get so focused on protecting themselves that they kind of get lost in that, and they do, like frustrate people around them or hurt people around them. And I feel like they're just not admitting their feelings to you right now, because they're very intimidated by the fact that you carry yourself so well and that you are definitely very mature and developed, and they may not be used to that, or they just may not be used to the fact that you are in fact invested, or you care, or you are just somebody who, doesn't play games. I feel like the Queen of Swords, like, if they... Like, I just feel like you're the kind of person that if you invest into something that you do see longevity, you do see, like, something more long-term, and you aren't... Because you're not trying to waste your time, I feel like you guys very much understand what the tea is, and I think that... And what I mean by that is you're not looking to waste their time, your time, or to kind of, like, participate in something frivolous or something that is... like, you're just not looking to burn time. You're looking for something a little bit more serious, whatever that context may be. It could be a relationship. It could just be a long-term friendship. It could just be a better relationship with this person in general, regardless of what the context of the relationship or connection itself is. But I feel like for some of you, it could be romantic or sibling-oriented because of the Lovers card and the Gemini energy here. But yeah, I just feel like this person is very defensive right now, and they're in the midst of a huge transition right now. I think that they just finished healing from something, or they have gone through a lot of changes in their life recently, or, like, this connection was a huge change for them, and I feel like they feel a lack of control over their feelings, and this probably doesn't happen for them very often, and it probably kind of shook them up a little bit, and it makes me think of a spider that's, like, trying to build a web, like, in the wind, like, they're, like, struggling, they're, like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's them right now. But yeah, that's all I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, especially because I haven't done a reading like this in a while. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if it did. And if you'd like a personal reading, I do offer those in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below the description box. Other than that, thank you so much for watching again. I love you. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose Oddish, this is going to be your reading for why won't they admit their feelings for you. There we go. Oh my gosh, I don't know why that was so difficult. But before we get into... Oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't tell Pile 1 about their Pokemon card. This always happens. But anyways, we're going to get into some Oracle cards to kind of pin down who this person may be, so that like you're watching the correct pile, or like like you You know what I mean? Anyways, a little bit about Oddish while I'm shuffling. Oddish is a grass poison type, the pre-evolved form of Gloom, and was introduced in Gen 1. Anyways, who is Pile 2 inquiring about? Who is Pile 2 inquiring about? Okay. We have Sun. I don't know why, but that just made me think of like someone's son. I don't know. I'm going to pull some keywords too that will kind of explain who this person may be, but also essentially provide context further down the line in the reading. Who is Pile 2's person? Who is Pile 2's person? Okay. And we got Rocky Road with adventure, preparation, and challenge. Then one more. Hopefully I can shuffle it. That was so rude. Why would this card fly around like that? Like, you should have stayed in spot. Who is Pile 2's? Oh, wow. That just flew out. And we have within a few days. I do feel as if though this person that you are asking about plans on telling you how they feel, you know. And I just feel like, you know, it could literally be within a few days. Perhaps for some of you a week, because I do see the number 7 here. So that makes me think like 7 days. But you know, aside from that timeline, I just feel like with the Sun card and the Rocky Road card together, it seems as if though this person goes through a lot of transformations, or it seems as if though like they're always going through something. I feel like this person is probably like, they're just always implementing changes into their life. It just makes me feel like they're the kind of person where everything in their life is constantly a work in progress or always in construction, you know? So I just feel like in that sense, like it could be literally like they are always around construction, like always, like I don't know why, but I keep getting the messages like someone who's like always rearranging their room, or like, you know, like remodeling their house and things of that nature, you know? Just someone who is, they can't really sit still, you know? So I feel like they could be a fixed sign, because the first sign that I thought of was Leo when I saw the Sun card, but they could also be an Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus within the Sun sign, or they could just be somebody who has strong solar placements within their chart. So like that makes me think of like a fire sign, so they could be like an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I feel like Leo is a very significant sign here, and I just feel like there's somebody who is always just like going through something. I feel like this is the kind of person that's like, you know, like mess around and find out, you know, or like if you want the more like uncensored version, like F around and find out, if you know what I mean. By the way, guys, I like curse a lot in real life. Don't ever think that I don't curse. Like I definitely curse. I just don't curse on here. But anyways, I just feel like I almost wonder if this person's like a little bit focused on their identity, you know? I don't know, with the Sun card, I just feel like this person could also have like a strong ego, or they could be somebody who is just very like full of themselves at times. I just feel like this person, like, they definitely run off of their ego a lot, or they run off of their pride a lot, or they could just be somebody who is very, they get all the corners in their identity, if you know what I mean. And I think that the Rocky Road card kind of supports that, in the sense that they've probably gone through a lot of challenges with their ego, or they've gone through a lot. So I feel like they have a particularly weathered or well-developed ego, if you know what I mean. And I think that this is a contributing factor as to why they probably haven't told you how they feel yet. And I feel like it may be a little bit contradictory, you know, because it seems as if though like this person is prideful, or somebody who is very proud, maybe sometimes to a detriment. But I think that this person is just somebody who has a well-developed ego, or somebody who is just very, you know, like all that. And so I almost wonder if it's a little bit interesting as to why they haven't admitted their feelings for you, regardless of the context here. You know, it could be romantic, it could be anything else, but you know, we'll see more as we get into the tarot in a little bit. But I just feel like this is somebody who may also like, this is an interesting message, but the Sun is making me think of like hotter climates. So they could be somebody who is very tan, or just has like a darker complexion, or somebody who does work in the sun, you know. Maybe they do something like that's just like construction work, or they work somewhere in the heat, or they just live in a hotter climate, or they're from a hotter climate. I don't know. Like that just came through and I just felt like mentioning it. But, you know, I think that this person is also very adventurous. They may be somebody who really likes traveling, and I feel like this may be the kind of person who, when they listen to music, they listen to it very loud. And I also think that they are somebody who is very... They may have an interesting relationship with preparing. I feel like this person is always ready. I feel like they're always, you know, down for anything. I think that they are not somebody who is never prepared for a situation. And it may seem as if though they're being impulsive, but I feel like they are very intuitive in the sense that they can kind of sense when something's coming and they're able to prepare for it. And I think that if this person hasn't admitted their feelings for you yet, or like if they haven't really told you how they feel, I think that they're just in the midst of preparing for it, honestly, or they're just kind of, you know, like getting ready to do it, especially with this within a few days card and the way it just like flopped out. I think that this hasn't been going on for a very long time. I don't think that this person I don't think that this connection has been something that has been overly drawn out. I think that this person is too impatient for that, or you may be too impatient for that, but you know. Let's get into the tarot. I need to provide more context. We're using the Beauty Tarot today because I like the keywords at the bottom of the cards. I feel like you guys can kind of look at them and see, you know, like use your own discernment. I don't know, because I feel like in a reading like this, it's especially important for the audience to kind of actively listen, if you know what I mean. But like, I trust you guys enough, you know, like I know that like if a pile isn't like resonating, then you guys like won't watch it, you know. Yeah, I just trust you guys. I just know you guys are intelligent. I know that you guys... Anyways. Why won't pile 2's person admit their feelings to pile 2? Why won't pile 2's person admit their feelings... Okay. Admit their feelings to pile 2. Okay. Alright. That's all we need to do. I feel like this Knight of Swords wanted to come out reversed, and I think that I'm going to read it both ways simply just because it kind of landed sideways. But yeah, Nine of Swords reversed. We also have the Devil reversed. I'm going to read both of these kind of interchangeably in terms of like reverse or like upright. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Knight of Wands. This person may be kind of like player vibes, honestly, or they just may be somebody who is very non-committal or very aloof. And I just feel like they're a little bit bold. I feel like they are a little bit of a loudmouth or a little bit boisterous. Even if they're like quiet, you know, I just feel like it's like there's a part of them that is that way, you know? Because I feel like a lot of the time, sometimes the loudest, most craziest people are like introverts, you know? Like at the grocery store, they will just not say a word to the cashier. But when they're around the right people, it's like suddenly they're like, it's as if though they're just like mic'd. I don't know. Like they're just so loud and crazy. But with the Nine of Swords in reverse and the Devil card in reverse and just like these cards in general, I definitely do think that this kind of supports the idea that they are kind of processing how they feel and they're kind of getting ready to make a move, if you know what I mean. But I also feel like this kind of explains as to why they may have been a little bit stagnant or a bit quiet for a while, because I feel as if though it's been a while since they have kind of gotten themselves into a situation like this. I think that with the Devil card and Nine of Swords, it may seem as if though this person was previously in a connection before, or if there was obstacles that kind of prevented your all's union, if you know what I mean. In the sense that like, I feel like maybe you guys would have met if one or more of you is like in a relationship, or, you know, I'm kind of like steering it towards a more romantic sense just because I feel like the Knight of Wands and the Devil card kind of talks about that. But I also just feel like if we're going to apply this generally across the board, like not just romantic, just like platonic, familial, I think that it's pretty safe to say that this person wasn't able to, or they felt like the situation at hand was inappropriate for them to kind of tell you how they truly feel about you. because I just feel like there's a lot of things that kind of got in this connection's way, you know, like maybe physical distance, or you guys had different jobs, or you guys, you know, with the rocky road card, this person may have been going through a lot of challenges, a lot of transformations in their life, you know. And I almost wonder if with the Nine of Swords and the Devil card together, it may seem as if though this connection took some downtime for a while. This could even be an ex or kind of that vibe, you know. Obviously, that's like a very sensitive message, so if that isn't resonating, you know, please feel free to leave it. But I just think that it makes me think of like two friends that are never able to hang out because they're always like really busy, or they're just like always going through something, or you know, like they just have been hanging out with other people, or one of them had to do this and the other had to do that, you know. It may seem as if though Lady Fate was purposefully tampering with this connection, and I think that if you guys resonate with that, I think that you feel as if though it was literally on purpose. I think it's pretty insane the interruptions that this connection has faced, and I think that if that resonates, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But if that doesn't resonate, I think it's just safe to say that this connection feels as if though it's been one that has been put on the back burner for a while now, and I think that recently it's come back up to the surface to kind of be put in the spotlight and to be addressed properly. And you know, with these two cards being in the reverse, I think that it supports that message. I feel like this person is coming out of a lot of bad habits right now, and they're probably in the midst of kind of coming out of a very transitional and transformative stage of their life, because I feel like with the Nine of Swords, there was a lot of things that may have been inducing anxiety, or like anxiety inducing and causing them a lot of stress, you know. Like how I said, like the key words, but you know, like these cards, they say, I'll just keep them upright so you guys can read them, but I'm going to read them both ways still, you know, like addiction, obsession, cheating, attachment, restriction, secrecy, temptation, manipulation, sex. I feel like those are all very relevant words to this connection. And obviously if it's like just like a friend or something, like obviously like maybe some of those words will like not apply, because anyways. But yeah, I do think that this person has been very not stressed. I wouldn't say this person was like losing sleep over this connection or something. They could have been for some of you, depending on, you know, how developed this connection is. But I think I will confidently say that this has been a connection that has been on their mind and something that they have been meaning to address. But I feel like maybe they are also a little bit distracted with the Knight of Wands here. I think that they really follow their impulses, or they just, you know, like when they feel something or when they want to do something, they don't really think twice, you know. And so because of that, they may be a little bit unfiltered, and I think that all definitely applies and kind of pours into this idea that they are somebody who is always going through something, because they never really think twice before they dive into something headfirst. And so because of that, I think that this person is always opening up a bunch of side quests or main quests in their life and getting ahead of themselves at times. And I feel like this connection was definitely one of those where they like got to know you, and then they just like got distracted, and now they're like probably back. I think that if you're watching this at the time of I'm filming this, we are in the midst of a shadow period for Venus retrograde, so that could be a relevant energy. But you know, if you're watching this like 2024 for some reason, it's just that sense of like this person feels like they were meant to come back, or you feel as if though this person was eventually going to come back, you know. Let's see what else here. We also have the Five of Wands and the Emperor. I definitely think the Emperor card is very relevant to the energy that they may embody. I'm also kind of like noticing, I don't know how relevant this will be to you guys, but I think it's interesting how all of these cards are kind of like darker. You know what I mean? So they may be somebody who is very nighttime themed, or a little bit of a night owl. And I also feel like the Emperor card really embodies their energy as somebody who is very ambitious, and somebody who kind of just like embodies that impulsive energy, because this card is ruled by Aries, so they could be in Aries, particularly in Aries rising. I don't know, I just feel like they could have a fire rising, or they could have like a very strong sun placement or a Mars placement. But you know, I just feel like what I'm trying to say here is that this person is very headstrong, like I said, and they are probably somebody who can be a little bit linear, maybe even vulgar or unhinged at times, simply because they just like, they don't really think twice, you know. I don't think that this person is very good at reading a room, honestly. I think that with the energies present here, this person doesn't really think twice. But I also feel like the Five of Wands kind of supports that whole conflict, I think that the Five of Wands and the Rocky Road card kind of coincide in the sense that I think that this person is just like always in the middle of something. You know, I feel like every time you talk to this person, or every time you hear about this person, or every time this person is like brought up in any way, shape, or form in your life, there's just like conflict, you know, or there's a sense of chaos, you know. This person is very chaotic. They seem like they are always on the go. They're just always on to something, you know. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way to say it. I'm just going to pull the last card and kind of get to the summary. We also have King of Swords. I feel like the King of Swords and the Emperor card can kind of double back as to why they may deem you, or like why they may have not really admitted their feelings for you. Because I feel like maybe at times when this person really pumps the brakes and kind of, you know, takes a moment to look at their surroundings, I think they may realize the chaos that they have caused. And I think that that's when they kind of go backwards and kind of tend to the things that they have started. And I feel like with the King of Swords and the Emperor card, if this person has hurt you, or if they have caused anxiety, or if they have definitely been a little bit of a handful, I feel like they're a little bit nervous or maybe even insecure to kind of come back to you or kind of admit how they feel, or, you know, to kind of tell you how they feel, because it seems as if though they're a little bit nervous as to how you may react. Because I think that with the amount of time that has passed, or with the amount of, you know, things that have happened between the two of you, this person may be a little bit nervous because they feel like you have a lot of power over how they feel, or they feel like you're completely in the right, you know, or not like that. I don't know how to describe it, you know. It's like a kid that knows that they did something bad, you know. I feel like they may have a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction with that, of like having a little bit of shame when it comes to owning up to the things that they have done. I feel like this may be something that they have struggled with all their life. They may be quite a young soul, or a little bit immature at times. But I think that with the King of Swords here, they definitely see you as somebody who is very organized and somebody who is very structured, and not somebody that you can really just like come back to with like a little weak apology, you know. I think that this person has gotten away of charming people at times, or, you know, like as we say in Gen Z terms, rizzing them up. But I think that they know that they can't just come to you all charming and hope that they can, like, you know, like sway you in a specific direction with their charm. I think that they understand that they have to come to you with like a structured way of like expressing how they feel and all of that good stuff. So I feel like that's definitely playing into the reason why they're not really admitting how they feel towards you right now, because they are a little bit nervous, because they don't want to come at you sideways, or they don't want you to kind of, you know, like twist their words around, or, you know, like expose them. Because I think that with the King of Swords, you're very good at reading people, or you're very good at breaking down people's motives, you know. I think I'm going to just sum up your reading, pile 2, by saying that this person is definitely very impulsive, very all over the place, may just like be a complete fireball and unpredictable. And I think that the unpredictability is definitely what may have, I think, is what really inspires a lot of your pile, in the sense that like it's very hard for it to pin down what exactly they may do next, or how they may express how they feel, and maybe at times it's a little bit hard to get a read on them. But I think that within a few days card here, and the Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck, along with just like these tarot cards, it really gives me this vibe that this person is trying to think of how they want to express to you how they feel, or to kind of, you know, like come up with a plan of attack, if you know what I mean. Because I think that they very much understand that with the amount of time that has passed, or with the things that have gone down, they understand that they can't just come to you with like some lame apology, or like, you know, like, oh, just be like, hey, you know, like they can't just slide up and be like, hey, WYD, you know. They know they can't do that with you. So I feel like they're taking the time to prepare it, and maybe for some of you it will take them a little bit longer, just because they are in the midst of preparing still, or they still need to exactly realize that they have left this connection unattended to, or unnurtured, if you know what I mean. It really all depends on the timeline that you are at with this connection, but I think that's pretty safe to say that for a lot of you, that this person is on the brink of, or has already realized that they need to backtrack, and they need to tend to the connections that they have opened up, especially you, and, you know, like come up with a way to kind of express how they feel. And they may need to still feel like out their feelings. They're very conflicted right now, but they definitely want to talk to you, and they definitely want to say something to you. But I feel like, once again, they could be a little bit too proud. But yeah, that's all I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, especially since I haven't done a reading like this in a while now. But if it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like a personal reading, I do offer those in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below in the description box. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Again, I love you. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose Cubone, this is going to be your reading for why aren't they admitting their feelings for you? It's the first time I have said the question in this video like fluidly. The other piles I have like tripped over my words like that. Anyways, before we get into the tarot, I do want to pull some oracle cards to kind of get some insight on who this person is so that we can, you know, like decide or like see if this is the correct pile or, you know, if you're inquiring about the correct person. Yeah, while I'm shuffling, a little bit about Cubone. Oh, okay. A little bit about Cubone. It is a pure ground type, and it was introduced in Gen 1, I believe, and it is the pre-evolved form of Marowak. Okay. Now, who is pile 3 asking about? Who is their person? Who is pile 3's person? Oh, okay. We have potion. And then let's pull some keywords. These will kind of give way to who this person may be and also provide some extra context when we get into the tarot. But who is pile 3's person? I guess you'll get 2 cards. Okay. We have Moon Mist with astral travel, visions, and visitations, and Fig with abundance, fertility, and expansion. I get heavy Piscean vibes, or like just Jupiter in general. Let me move the plant. And then one more from this deck. I almost wonder if this is somebody that you have had dreams about, or vice versa, they had dreams about you. Who is pile 3's person? Okay. We have spilled milk with number 5. Yeah, Pisces. This could be Pisces. But I don't know, like with the potion, I feel like this person is very hard to pin down, or kind of like a little bit confusing, because, you know, when I think of potions, I think of like concoctions of a bunch of different things. So I feel like this person can be kind of elusive and maybe only like comes to you in a specific form. So like they could communicate to you through their dreams, or like through your dreams, I mean, or just like through dreams. They could have like a Pisces 5th house, because I also see the number 5 on the potion card. What would Pisces 5th house be? Aries, Taurus. That would mean they're a Scorpio rising, I believe. Yeah. But I just feel like, or was it Capricorn rising? It's one of those, Capricorn rising or Scorpio rising. But I'm very confident that it's Scorpio rising, but I could be wrong. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that I just feel like this person is a little bit confusing and maybe very energetically intense with the energies that we have here. Because with this expansion card, I just feel like something about Jupiter, something about that whole like prospect of always expanding, and something about being very lucky when the conditions are correct, like exponentially lucky. And for some of you, this could even be someone that you have just met, or somebody who is kind of mysterious. Maybe for some of you, somebody you haven't even met yet, honestly, but somebody that like you may be expecting. I feel like this pile is very elusive and very confusing. But with spilled milk here, I almost wonder if this person could be somebody who is like, they had passed like along, in not like that way, but like, what I mean is like they could be somebody who has kind of like passed you by. Like they could no longer be in your life anymore, or like, you know, you just like don't talk to them. You guys maybe, if it's a relationship, maybe you guys like broke up or something, or you just haven't heard from them in a while. Like, I just feel like this person is just like right now, currently, not like you like no contact. There we go. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I was like struggling so much to say that, but I just feel like you guys are in fact in the midst of no contact, and I feel like something's brewing. I feel like this person has just recently started thinking about you again, and that's probably why like you have been thinking about them. I think that if this person is communicating to you through your dreams or through something of that nature, I wouldn't be surprised if you yourself are also a very sensitive individual. So I just think that that makes this connection all the more confusing. But I will say that the communication seems to be a little bit mutual, you know, because it's like I think that if it's not like dream traveling and, you know, communicating to each other through like symbols and things like that, I could also just feel like it's one of those things where like you see something and just like remind you of them. Like, for example, like you guys always went to the beach together, so maybe when you see seagulls or you see beaches, like you just think of them, you know. So I just feel like there's a lot of things that are significant to this connection that may have been reminding you of them or vice versa. And I just feel like this person is very confusing and a little bit like the one who got away kind of vibes, you know. It doesn't matter if they actually did get away or anything of that nature, but it's just like it seems as if though like with the cards here, it seems that like they are just somebody who is a little bit emotionally withdrawn and somebody who very quickly retreats into the darkness, or somebody who is a little bit bashful in that sense. But they could also be very like I don't know, like they just seem like they're always playing a role, you know, or somebody who is always, you know, like trying to conform, or somebody who is never 100% themselves, not because they're trying to be manipulative or anything. Well, it could be manipulative, you know what I mean. But I just feel like this person is very focused on other things, or they just feel like people really wouldn't like them. And I think that a lot of this regret is coming up here with the spilled milk card, because it seems as if though like you may have seen this person for who they truly are, or you may have gotten a little bit extra on you know, their actual identity and a little bit of a peek behind that mask of theirs. And I think that's what definitely kind of causes connection to like thread, I don't know, like for the connection to linger. There we go. I just feel like this is a very spiritual connection, and definitely one that like I just feel like this pile is definitely going to be the ostrich of all today's piles, just because it seems as if though it's a little bit irrelevant to the actual like physical connection, which is definitely present. But I just feel like, you know, like something about past lives, something about soulmates, something about knowing each other and knowing that one another is thinking about the other, and that being the reason like why this connection is coming up at all, you know. It's running purely on intuition and feelings. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys like think about this person, or if they think about you, and one of the other just feels really crazy, you know, because it's like, am I going insane, or is this person actually thinking about me? Because there's just no way, you know. And I almost wonder if the potion card, one or both of you have casted a spell or have set intentions to manifest one another. I definitely feel like I think the reason they haven't really admitted their feelings to you yet is simply because the physical like connection isn't there yet. Perhaps they've already admitted or kind of showcased some of their feelings through, you know, like the astral realm, or through, you know, like emotions, dreams, anything of that nature, anything a little bit more intangible. I just think that the actual, you know, like physical admitting like verbally, like, hey, like I have feelings for you, or like, you know, like, hey, this is how I feel about you. I feel like this could be really any context. I don't think it has to be romantic. I feel like this one's definitely a little bit more vague in terms of who this is and what the connection is. I just think it's pretty safe to say that the way that I've been laying this reading out and the way that I have described it, in that it just seems as if though the connection itself is on a more intangible realm. I feel like if that resonates, then you have definitely found your pile. Yeah, I really want to pull the tarot cards because I'm really intrigued as to what will come out here. We're using the Beauty Tarot because the cards have like these keywords at the bottom, and I felt like those would, like, you know, if you look at the video, like you can kind of read them if you want to, and I feel like it can help provide a little bit of extra context for a lot of you, because obviously this reading is general, and I just feel like it's very important that you guys use discernment in readings like this. But I trust you guys. I trust that you guys have really good intuition, you know. You know. Why hasn't pile three's person admitted their feelings yet? Oh, snap. Why hasn't pile three's person admitted their feelings yet? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. A bunch of cards just flew out, you guys. Okay. That is the first pile that this has happened. We have 5 of Cups. We have 10 of Swords. This could have been a breakup, honestly. 2 of Pentacles. 4 of Swords. I'm just gonna pull out the last card too. Like no use in like keeping one card. And then Queen of Wands. There's a bunch of different things that are coming up, honestly. And Page of Wands. The first thing that I immediately thought of with the Queen of Wands, first of all, I feel like you are definitely a very passionate and flamboyant person, pile 3. And, you know, as I'm describing this, you know, apply the roles in whichever way you deem as fit. But I'm just going to say that this emotional and more withdrawn person is your person that you're inquiring about, and then the more passionate person is going to be you. But obviously flip those in whichever way resonates with you. But I just think that with the Queen of Wands, 10 of Swords, and 5 of Cups, I almost wonder if this person just feels like you've moved on, or as if like you are on to better things, you know? You know, like with spilled milk, when you spill milk, you can't drink it no more. Like you have to wipe it up and it's gone, you know, like that milk is like gone. The liquid's gone. But anyways, I just feel like with the 10 of Swords and 5 of Cups, like this, something happened here. And it doesn't really matter what happened, but I just think that with the 4 of Swords, it suggests that there could have been a breakup, or that there's just like a huge timeout or disconnect between you and this person right now. And I definitely feel like that's why they aren't admitting their feelings for you right now, or they aren't telling you how they feel, or they just aren't communicating. And I almost wonder if they are trying to solicit the situation, or to kind of manifest an event that will allow them to kind of tell you how they feel, or to, you know, like admit things to you. Because I just feel like right now they're in the midst of kind of making a lot of realizations. And with the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck, I think that this person is a little bit less underdeveloped in terms of ego, whereas you, I feel like, are definitely a lot more comfortable with your ego and like how you assert yourself, just because, like, you know, the Page of Wands is like a more immature, more younger energy. And not to say that they could be like immature, and, you know, for some of you they could be, and that's probably one of the factors as to why they haven't admitted their feelings. But with the Page of Wands, I noticed that it says messages, news, which I just feel like, wow. I think that this person has been moving along in their life. With the 2 of Pentacles, I think it's safe to say that this connection, like, it's just, there's dust. Dust has settled here. You know, this connection is definitely one that has taken its time, and that it may be one that might be getting drawn up as of late. I feel like at the time that you're watching this, pile 3, this connection is just recently coming back up, or it's recently been one that is relevant again, regardless of whether or not but one or both of you have been thinking about it. You know, it's like no matter how much you've been ruminating about it, it feels as if though now it has taken a front seat suddenly, or that it has become, you know, like trendy, not like trendy, but like, you know, it's like trending, you know, it's come back up, or it's like relevant again. But I feel like with the 2 of Pentacles and Page of Wands, this person may be intrigued by new hobbies right now. They might be embarking on new adventures. There's a lot of interesting scenarios that are kind of coming to mind as I'm kind of giving you these messages. And the first one is that I feel as if though, like, if you guys were in fact within a union a while back, and it doesn't have to be like romantic, it could be, you know, platonic or familial too, but I just feel like this person, maybe there was a time where you were telling them like, hey, like, do what you love, or do this, you know. I just feel like the Queen of Wands, it shows that you're a fiercely independent person, and you're somebody who takes great pride in their identity, you know, their ego, their passions, all of that nature. We also have the number 5 here, so like 5th house could be relevant, you know, and with the 5 of Cups. So, you know, 5th house of passions, romance, excitement. I just feel like this one was taken a little bit too lightly at the beginning, but I feel like it got a little bit serious. You know, but it's just like what I'm trying to say here is because you're so fiercely independent, and you're somebody who advocates for themselves, and, you know, is in fact developing their ego and becoming proud of themselves and becoming independent, and not independent, but like, you know, like confident, you know, not to say that you weren't before, but it's just like you guys have always been on, you've always been betting on yourself. You've always been invested in yourself, you know? And I just feel like this is definitely one of the things that makes this connection a little bit more confusing, because it may be like, what is this? You know, like, who is this? But I just feel like there's this energy here that makes me feel like you really did advocate for this person, and that you always wanted them to kind of go about their life in the ways that, you know, they wanted to, you know? I feel like you just don't like it, pile 3, when people make decisions for you, you know, like, for example, like, oh, like, I'm going to move across the country to come live with you, you know, even though my dreams are over here, you know? It's just like, you wouldn't allow that to happen. I feel like you guys are so, like, focused on growth and, you know, advocating for yourself and, you know, individuality, that you probably imposed this upon this person. And I feel like maybe that not going as smoothly is one of the reasons why there was things that kind of caused this connection to falter, or to, you know, enter this state of resting and period of, like, you know, like, laying still. And I'm feeling as if though this person has finally taken a hint, or has finally kind of thought about you enough, or thought about what you have said enough, or thought about just like any intentions that they had beforehand, to kind of, like, they thought about it enough to understand, like, hey, like, I'm going to start doing things that I love. Because Page of Wands and Two of Pentacles really tells me that they could be busy, or they're juggling a bunch of things in their life right now. But I feel like this is also still, like, they're still very elusive by nature. I feel like it's a little bit hard to tell exactly what it is they're doing, you know? I just feel like that Neptunian, Piscean, Jupiterian, whatever you want to say, I just feel like all those energies, although are, like, especially Neptune, like, it's just a little bit confusing at times. And depending on how those aspects are placed in one's charts, I think that it can really suggest somebody who is mysterious, and somebody who is expanding in ways that are not known to a lot of people, you know? And regardless of whether or not they have those aspects or those placements in their chart, or if even you do, it's just that energy, you know, of like Jupiter and Neptune together, you know, of like mysterious expansion. And that as things come up to the surface, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like everything's developed and everything is set in stone, but it's a matter of everything getting revealed, you know? It's not about actually building it and developing it. It's more about solving the mystery and things coming up to the surface, you know? Especially with the potion card, because I feel like alchemy is involved here, or just something about, like, I don't know, like, it's just like, I feel like these cards don't really speak to the situation as a whole. Like, I really feel like this connection, like, exceeds a lot of what is tangible, like even these tarot cards, you know? I don't know, I'd hate to sound like I'm pulling things out of my behind, you know? But I just feel like this connection, like, for as spiritual as it is, it's just something that really only you can feel and only you understand. I feel like this is more of like a confirmation for you, or to kind of like tell you, like, hey, like, you're not insane, you know? But I do feel like, coming back down to earth, I think that with the 5 of Cups and 10 of Swords, I'm very confident in saying that this connection is at a timeout right now. And the reason why this person hasn't really communicated how they feel towards you, or, you know, just like said anything at all, is because of this timeout. Or it could just be that this person is still in the midst of letting their emotions brew, and I feel like it's kind of hard for them to kind of navigate this disappointment, or to kind of navigate all of these feelings that are coming upon them, because I feel like on top of this connection, there's a bunch of other things that have clouded their judgment, confused them, and really thrown them off, you know? And so I think that as a result, they're still in the midst of processing how they feel and to kind of organize things. And I feel like right now, like, the connection is on a very divinely guided and timed pathway, because I just feel as if though timing is so important here. And I think that you guys know that, and it's probably what you're inquiring about. I think I'm just going to sum up your reading, pile 3, before I start repeating myself like a crazy person. I'm just going to say that this person is definitely one that is a little bit confusing, mysterious, very watery and emotional, and maybe even a little bit closed off, because, like, they are just so protective over their feelings, or maybe sometimes their feelings can be a little bit overwhelming for them, so they may escape to vices, or they may, you know, like, turn to other things, you know, like, they may turn to substances, they may turn to, you know, like, addictions, or like other coping mechanisms that help them escape. I just feel like that's very relevant here, especially with the Piscean energy we have going here. I just feel like that all plays into the fact that this person is still feeling their feelings out right now, and they're still in the midst of possibly even grieving or to kind of process things. And I feel like they've also embarked on a new journey in their life, and they have started a new cycle in their life, or both of you have started a new cycle in their life. And I just feel like that needs to settle down, and or that needs to be something that kind of, you know, calms down and kind of, you know, like gets comfortable in your all's lives before this connection can start up again, or even just proceed where it has left off from. Just because I feel as if though like this connection is very susceptible to external stimuli messing it up and causing problems, especially since the Four of Swords really makes me feel like it suggests that rest and time out is very important here, or that's just kind of what's going on, you know. And I also feel like this person may even be a little bit intimidated by you, because I feel like they really want to tell you how they feel, or they really want to let you know like that you've helped them in a lot of ways that maybe you wouldn't understand, you know, maybe in more significant ways. I feel like this person draws a lot of inspiration from the way you carry yourself, as opposed to the advice or words you may have spoken to them or given them. I feel like they are a very wisdom-oriented person in the sense that they learn from other people's mistakes very often. So yeah. That's all I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, and if it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, especially since I haven't done a reading like this in a while. But yeah, and if you'd like a personal reading, I do offer those in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below in the description box. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Again, I love you. Bye. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose Ghastly, this is going to be your reading for Why Won't They Admit Their Feelings for You? Now, before we get into the tarot, I do want to pull some oracle cards just to provide some context on who you may be, like who this is, so that you know you've like chosen the correct file. But a little bit about Ghastly as I'm shuffling. Ghastly is a ghost poison type. It's part of the Gengar line, evolution line, and it was introduced in Gen 1. Anyways, Generation 1. Anyways, who is Pile 4 this person? Who is this person? Who is Pile 4 inquiring about? Who is Pile 4's person? Okay. We have soil. And then let's pull some more cards. I have some keyword cards here just to kind of like provide a little context on who they may be and also why they aren't admitting their feelings. You know, it's kind of like a destroy 5 million birds with one stone kind of vibe. Anyways, who is Pile 4's person? Oh, we got chocolate vanilla swirl, complementary opposites, fairness, equality. Now I want ice cream. I might get ice cream. Anyways. And then one more from this deck. That's so rude. Did you see that card move? Like, I did not want that to happen. I can't believe that just happened. Who is Pile 4's person? Who is Pile 4's person? Oh, wow. We have swords and scales. They could be a Libra rising because of the number 1 here. They could also be an earth sign just because of soil card. But something about duality being here because of the chocolate vanilla swirl. But, and also like this thing is like, this figure is like half underground and like half above ground. But I will say, whatever it is, whoever this is definitely somebody that you have history with, or just in general, this is somebody who is very grounded, and I don't think that they would be open to even considering like how like opening up about their feelings to anybody unless they are comfortable with them, or unless they 100% trust them with like all of their heart. And I just think that, you know, either if it's the latter, then I definitely feel like that's why they haven't admitted their feelings. But if it's the former, I just feel as if though, like with the swords and scales, it seems as if though justice has been done here. I feel like it seems as if though this person is not admitting how they feel or saying what they want to say to a detriment. Like they are avoiding it to a detriment. And I just feel like the reason I'm saying that is because this card here and the swords and skills cards, honestly all of these cards just together, it just makes me feel like the situation is starting to grow like stale. Like it gives me Four of Cups vibes of like too much time is being taken to kind of say what needs to be said, you know, in terms of emotions and being transparent about them. Especially because I just feel like this connection has suffered because of this person's lack of like trust issues or inability to kind of, you know, be flexible and move around. And I feel like this person can sometimes also be stuck in their own ways and be a little bit emotionally conservative because of the soil card. I feel like this person has a really hard time budging, or you know, they have a very particular aversion to change and anything of that nature. And I also feel like this person is very connected to nature just because I noticed like the trees in the background of this card. I feel like this person could be somebody who really thrives on silence. They may not be that much of a talker, to be honest. I feel like they are a little bit like mute in that sense, or they're a little bit like, you know, they just don't like talking, you know. I just don't feel as if though this is a particularly talkative person. I feel like with the swords and scales here, this is somebody who may say like 3 words, but their entire message has been conveyed through those 3 words. And I just feel like that's definitely another reason as to why this person may struggle with expressing themselves, or why they haven't been telling you how they feel, just because one, they probably really struggle with kind of putting things into words, because I feel like this person goes off of vibes and shows a lot of their actions. But I feel like, you know, obviously not all the time will actions be able to compensate for words. And I feel like that's just so true, because in this case here, I feel like this person has done a very good job of admitting like, or like showing how they feel, but they haven't really said how they feel. And because of that, there seems to be kind of like a disconnect, or a little bit of like a unsureness, you know? Because like I just feel like there are times, because it's like I don't know, I'm thinking of a fridge. Like okay, so this is like a really weird scenario, and it's like coming into my head. I got like, imagine someone asks you, can you get the yogurt out of the fridge? And you're like, okay, so I'm gonna like open the fridge, and then someone else is like, why are you opening the fridge, you know? It's like you clearly have a mission, and you're clearly like, once you finish what you're doing, you know, you get the yogurt out. Like that person sees like, oh, they're just getting the yogurt out of the fridge, but initially they can't really tell what your intentions are, and they don't really know what the vibe is, you know. And I feel like that's this person, in the sense that like they just do things without really saying, or they just kind of move about things and want everything to kind of conform to them, or to kind of cater to their feelings, because I feel like this person can get very anxious or very nervous whenever they feel like they're in question, or they may just like freeze up, or like I'm giving like, it's giving deer in a headlight vibes, you know. And I just feel like with the sword and scales, this person just really struggles with that. And obviously, like, I don't want to sound like a cliche reading, like, oh, like they just really struggle to like put their feelings into words. Like, chances are you're dealing with someone who's grown, and somebody who can voice their feelings when required to. But I just feel like right now in this moment, as you're watching this reading, or like, you know, like generally like relevant to when you're watching this video, I feel like this person is definitely in the midst of freezing up, and they're probably a little bit rooted in their ways. I feel like this person digs their heels into the grounds when it comes to change, or when it comes to being interrogated, because literally anytime they get asked about anything, they probably feel like they're getting interrogated. I get heavy Taurus vibes here. And also, since we have Libra here too, just that Venus energy, you know, of like being more receptive and kind of going about things and floating by, and not really asserting yourself too much here, at least verbally, you know, within the context. I feel like with that being said, it's just like it all plays into why this person really struggles with speaking how they feel, because they may have had figures in their life that kind of, you know, catered to them, or, you know, didn't require them to all the time communicate, you know. I'm going to pull out the tarot and start shuffling. But I just feel like this person can be a little bit overly passive. And with that being said, they could also be very passive aggressive at times too. And they may be difficult. Have you noticed that like Libras like do this thing? Like, I'm sorry if you're a Libra, but like I have a friend that's a Libra moon, and every time she's like, she wants something, she'll turn it into a question for others. So for example, she'll want ice cream. So she'll be like, does anyone want ice cream, you know? And it's like, I started to like notice that, and I was like, do you want ice cream? Or I'm just like, I think you want ice cream because you're asking us, so let's go get ice cream, you know? It's that kind of vibe. I feel like that's this person. I feel like they're very passive aggressive of how they assert themselves, and because of that, I think that they're a little bit confusing when it comes to these kind of situations. I feel like it presents a lot of smokes and mirrors because they just like they never directly communicate how it is they're feeling. I feel like they always have to dress up the question, or they always have to kind of be like they kind of rely on their charm, or they just rely on like the vibes a little bit too much when there are times where they need to communicate and just be a little bit more direct. But I feel like that's when they, you know, dig their heels down, or they get nervous, or they become even more passive, you know, because they just want to avoid the question. And I feel like that's definitely like it plays into why they aren't admitting their feelings to you right now. And I think that it doesn't really matter if this is romantic, platonic, you know. I've just been saying romantic because I assume that anyone that's watching this video is inquiring about a romantic connection, but it could very well be anything, you know. Why haven't pile 4's person admitted how they feel? Why hasn't pile 4's person admitted their feelings? Why haven't they admitted their feelings? Yeah, I think this is interesting too, because literally every other pile, I've had a bunch of cards fly out. Like literally in pile 3, like 4 out of the 5 cards I was going to pull flew out by themselves. But this one, only 1 fell out. So yeah, we have 3 of Cups. And then we have Ace of Wands. And we have the Fool card. I do think that this connection is relatively new, or like it just seems as if though like a lot of the feelings that are coming up are making it feel new, you know. And then we have 4 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I do think that the 4 of Swords is kind of nudging what I was saying about this person being a little bit passive and a little bit, you know, like they could be a little bit reclusive. I feel like they're kind of a loner, or somebody who doesn't like to be seen by the public eye, or just doesn't like to be seen in general. They could be like a homebody, or they could just be somebody who by nature doesn't really like to surround themselves with too many people. I wouldn't be surprised if you are particularly close with this person. It's just so difficult to get to know them. And I feel like for those of you who are either A, pursuing this person, or B, in the midst of kind of, you know, like getting to know this person, they're probably really difficult, and they probably dig their heels down a lot, like I was saying. And I feel like this person I feel like they're really frustrating, honestly. Like I feel like if that resonates, you're probably watching this video like, girl, you ain't even know the half of it. Like, anyways, I just feel like with the 3 of Cups, you could have met this person through like a friend of a friend, or the 3 of Cups just makes me feel like this person has a very tight-knitted group of friends. I feel like this person, they probably have like 2 ride or die friends, and that's like it. They don't have acquaintances. They don't have like, oh, like friends that they no, it's like they have 2 ride or die friends. It's that, or it's just that, you know. And this person probably has like a hard time trusting people too. I feel like with the Sword and Scales person, depending on this person's like what has happened to them and what has been done, if you know what I mean, like karma and stuff like that. I feel like this person has dealt with a lot of painful connections, or they've had to have a lot of reality checks in regards to how they explore their passions, how they assert themselves, you know, especially with the themes that I have mentioned of this person probably being a little bit passive, or having trouble with their ego or asserting themselves. I just feel like they've had a lot of painful lessons on that, and because of that, they probably clam up a lot. But yeah, I think that with the Ace of Wands and the Fool card, like this gives me the feeling that the connection feels new, or it feels as if though it's like just beginning, you know. It doesn't really matter if it is actually new and you just like recently met this person, but more so that the feelings that are coming up and their urges that are coming up are definitely signifying new beginnings and signifying a new cycle. And I feel like this person really isn't admitting their feelings for you because, or like how they feel, just because like they're probably very nervous right now, and they're probably just like in the midst of like digging their heels down. I feel like this is their like knee-jerk reaction to everything. And I'm not saying like this person is never going to admit how they feel. I do think that once they get comfortable, and once they get around to kind of analyzing a situation and like, how do I say it, like observing it from afar, that's when they kind of realize like, oh, like, you know, they get the green light, you know. I don't think that this person likes to make a decision without intention, you know. They're probably a very intentional person, or somebody who always does things with a specific reaction in mind, you know. So I feel as if though if this person's been flaky, or if they're confusing you in any way, just know that I feel like their behavior is defined by the fact that they probably like to throw things to kind of test the waters, if you know what I mean. It makes me think of somebody who like touches their toe at the pool to see what the temperature is, you know, before they like jump in. And even then they won't jump in. They'll like go to the other side of the pool and like slowly walk in, you know, and submerge themselves as opposed to like diving in. And I feel like that's what this person is kind of doing, in the sense like they're testing the waters, and you know, they're kind of checking the situation out before they kind of submerge themselves. And I feel like even when they start admitting how they feel towards you, or their feelings in general, and like telling you what's going on in their mind and heart, it's still going to be a drawn out process, I'm feeling, or they're going to take a while, just because I feel like they need that validation in the midst of like doing it, you know. And not to make it sound like this person is going to need to be like coddled like a 4-year-old, you know, but more so that this person just likes to take things at their own pace, and that this person is very slow to make decisions. But I think that once this person has made a decision, and once they have set their heart on something, I feel like they are very capable, and they're very good at going about it in a very harmonious and beautiful way. And they're probably very harmonious as a result, you know. Like, I feel like just like appearance wise, and just the way that this person comes off, they're very charming, and they're very like likable, you know. It's very hard to resist this person, and I feel like even when they are being frustrating and annoying, like they're still really likable, and they're still worth catering to, you know. Like, they're not like insufferable or anything like that. Like, I just feel like this person is just like, it's like kind of annoyingly charming, you know. Like, oh, like it's like when a puppy does something really dumb, like literally destroy your whole house, and you're like, oh, like I can't stay mad at that, you know. Not saying that this person's like a puppy, but you know, like just that vibe of like, it's impossible to be mad at this person. That's probably why it's so frustrating. Let's pull out some more cards. We also have 10 of Wands. And we have Magician. I feel like this person could also be like manifesting you to admit your feelings first. Or they're a little bit of a control freak, or I feel like something about manifestation is relevant here, in the sense that like I feel like this person is trying to set up a situation that will allow them to calmly, or like kind of tell you how they feel, you know. Because with the 4 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it makes me feel like that vibe of like a very quiet environment. Somebody who, they can't be around a bunch of people, they can't be in like a group of people and speak their true opinions, because I feel like if this person gets interrupted, or something like, you know, like throws them off or something like that, I feel like they clam up again, you know. I feel like being vulnerable and expressing their emotions is something that makes them really nervous, or something that, you know, like they had bad experiences with, or, you know, just whatever the case may be, you know. I don't think that it matters why they clam up. It's just the point is that they do. And with the 10 of Wands, I do feel like this person feels a little bit burdened by their feelings, and a little bit burdened by the fact that they can't open up. I think that this person can be a little bit hard on themselves about it, and I feel like they can be a little bit like self-destructive about it even, or even just like they hog on themselves, or they just like, they can get very like diabolical towards themselves, because they understand that what they're doing isn't right, but they just like can't get themselves to, you know. They just really struggle with expressing themselves and being completely transparent, and I feel like at times they recognize that, and I feel like it's just one of those things where like the duality and, you know, the complementary aspect of it, and it like, I don't know, like the coexistence of it, like gets thrown off, you know, like the balance, there we go, that's what I was trying to say. I feel like their balance gets thrown off a lot with how they talk to themselves in their inner dialogue, and I feel like it's one of those things that like I feel like this person like just is very afraid of rejection, and they're very afraid of making a decision that they feel like is a mistake, you know. Like, I just think that this person never wants to mess up, especially like this Venusian energy that I keep picking up on here with that whole Libra and Taurus thing, because I just feel like this person doesn't want to accidentally foil something, or they don't want to like cause a situation that is stressful or particularly tumultuous, you know. This person takes these things very seriously, you know. I think that this person takes connection very seriously. I mean, it really shows, because they, like I said, they probably have only a few very close friends, or they may not even have friends, and they just like associate with their family, you know. They're just somebody who isn't very fond of meeting new people or participating in frivolous connections. And they can come off as very flaky, detached, maybe even like a heart of nails, or like, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. Like, they just come off as like very like abrasive at first, simply because they take connection so seriously. So I feel like they have grown a shell, or they have become very protective of themselves. And I feel like at times it can be a little bit frustrating to break down these walls. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying like the same things over and over again. So I'm just going to sum up your reading, pile 4. I feel like the person that you're inquiring about is somebody who is very grounded, and somebody who is not much of a talker, somebody who is very focused on earthly things with the Soil card. and they just really focused on material things, and they probably communicate a lot through their actions and through their vibes, you know, and they can be a little bit passive aggressive at times, I feel, or just passive in general. I feel like they suffer from bystander effect a lot in their life, or I just feel like it takes a lot for them to kind of make a move. But I think that with the Ace of Wands, the Fool, and the Ten of Wands, like, this person probably waits a lot, or they hang on to things for too long, or they just, like, you know what I mean, they take forever. But I do think that once they come up to a decision, like, they are very powerful manifestors, and they are very good at, you know, like, making decisions from there on out to kind of decide where things go. I feel like they're very decisive once they get the ball rolling, but before the ball is rolling, like, girl, like, they are so indecisive, and I feel like they're so difficult and very confusing. And I just feel like they're very charming and very likable. And I think that the reason why they haven't admitted their feelings for you yet, or telling you how they feel yet, is just because I feel like, once again, they're in the midst of taking way too long. They got too comfortable with how things are right now. They're a little bit too comfortable with their feelings not being stated verbally, or, you know, like, through actual words, to a point where, like, they can't get themselves to do it, you know, or they're just, like, complacent. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Like, they're very complacent right now, and they probably dug their heels down because they're realizing that the situation is going to require them to kind of open up and kind of say what's going on within them, you know. So I think that all plays into the fact that they're probably clamming up right now, and it's not because, like, of anything. It's just a knee-jerk reaction and how they kind of react to different stimuli. But yeah, that's all I have for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the reading resonated, and if it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, especially since I haven't done a reading like this in a while. So, like, tell me down below how it resonated. But yeah, and if you'd like a personal reading, I do offer those in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below in the description box. Other than that, thank you so much for watching again. I love you. Bye.